What's up, friends, and welcome to our first of potentially multiple Westfalia upgrade videos. This one is for our fridge. So, oh, that was bad. Oh, I just hit my leg. This is our current fridge. It is the stock 1987 Dometic fridge that came with the van. And it is currently not really working. It doesn't work on propane. It kind of works on battery, not very good. You plug it in, it cools stuff, but chances are we're not gonna be plugged in for the majority of the time that we're camping in this van. It's not really ideal, and to fix it, it's also very difficult because it can be tricky to find parts, it can be expensive, so it's not really worth it to do all that because modern fridges are just much more efficient anyways. So that is what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be removing this old fridge, turning that into more storage, and installing our brand new ARB Zero fridge freezer, which they kindly sent to us. So along with the fridge, they also sent along a wiring loom, which is for hooking it up to the battery, and a tie-down system for tying it down so it doesn't move. But we'll get to those later. First, we gotta unbox this fridge. Yeah. So there you go, that's kind of what it's gonna look like once it's in the Westfalia. We'll move it a bit closer to the wall there when we're actually going, but it's a pretty good size. This is the 47 quart, which is 44 liters, which we felt like would be a good size for the Westfalia for just the two of us. And looks, we've got lots of space around it. It's got some cup holders on top here, which is a nice little touch. And down here is where we plug in all of the power. So it actually runs off AC and DC. So this is where you would plug your standard household power into. And here is where you'd put your battery, where you'd hook it up to the battery. There's also another plug at the back, which you can hook up it to the battery as well. This is a little USB port, so you can charge your phone from your fridge, which is kind of cool. You have all your various settings here, and it actually has Bluetooth connectivity, so there's an app on my phone, which I'll probably download at some time. This is what the interior looks like. As you can see, there's like a nice deep pocket here, so you can put like your taller items, shorter items here, and this whole area can either be a fridge or it can be a freezer, so you can have either or. Now, their bigger models actually have like separate compartments, so you can have both, but we just wanted a smaller size for our vehicle, and we were quite happy with this one. I can pull that out like there, and that is a drain plug, so it makes cleaning out the inside of the fridge super easy. These are pretty important. So those are our various hookups. So these are the two that come with the fridge, but the wiring kit is a separate attachment, so we can permanently attach it to the battery. So now that we've given you a full tour of our fridge, we're actually gonna move it back out of the Westie, plug it in, start cooling it, and start removing this one.
Okay, so first things first, we'll make sure our propane is shut off. Okay, so let's get the table out of the way. Okay. Just took off the screws for the little door tether here, so we can take this door off as well and get it out of the way. Pop out the drawer. And the reason we're doing that is because there are several screws that screw into the fridge that come in through these cabinets. So with the screw caps off, then we can pull off this outer cover. Okay, so next we can unplug our fridge, which just plugged into an outlet right through this cabinet right here. And also through this cabinet we can access the propane line, which we have to disconnect, and two electrical connectors. That comes out. Then we can take off these rubber clamps, which are holding the propane line inside the vehicle to the cabinet here. All right, removing the propane line for the fridge, disconnecting it from the propane tank outside here. We can take that off. And we'll just put a cap on there to prevent propane from coming out when we turn the tank back on. Yeah, so one thing you want to do when you're messing around with any propane fittings is spray some soapy water or Windex on it afterwards, just to make sure that you don't have any leaks. So we're going to turn the propane back on now. and then we'll spray that fitting with some Windex. And if we see any bubbles, then we know we have a leak. What you're looking for is bubbles that are going to start growing, because they're going to grow as a leak pushes more gas out. So those bubbles are just from like spraying it, but we don't have any bubbles that are growing, so it looks like we're all sealed up. So now we should be good to remove the fridge.
Jiggle, jiggle.
Yeah.
Ooh, twisty jiggle. Okay, we're rotating.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, we're good?
Good. Yeah, keep it like this.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Woo! Ooh, that needs a vacuum.
Needs a vacuum, definitely.
That needs a vacuum. So, safe to say it was quite dirty underneath the fridge.
Okay, Nadine, I have a job for you.
All right.
Just take some snippers,
Snippers. Okay.
cut through the copper tube,
All right.
and then yank it out the bottom and yank it out the top. Just don't cut the wrong one. Cut this one.
So I cut the red line, the blue line. The propane's disconnected. I can't blow myself up. Oh my god. We're getting there.
All right, I'm gonna go get lunch. There you go.
Hey! Hey!
The last thing to do is to cap off this little hole on the outside where the vent for the fridge used to come out. We just bought a little electrical box cover from Home Depot. It was like $4 or $5, and I just drilled holes that match up with the holes that are existing on the side of the body, and we can use this to cap it off.
All right, next task. Removing the fridge door panel from the cabinetry panels. So, because we're still gonna use this cabinet on our Westie, but we don't need all this stuff right here. So, door is off. There we go. Quick little paint job, but I'm just gonna paint the inside shelf because it's brown and we wanted it to match the interior of the van a little bit more. So just found an empty can of white paint that I have lying around, and here we go. It's not an empty can, sorry. It's a can of white paint that I had.
All right, so now we are literally just waiting for paint to dry on our shelf for inside the cabinet. So why don't we see what's over here in the fridge.
Oh!
Pretty empty, but somehow 2 beers must have made it in there.
Is it beer o'clock time? Oh, there's some icy cold beers here.
Yeah.
Should I put them on? Oh, perfect!
Oh, look at that.
That.
So currently we have the fridge set to a chilly 1 degree Celsius, so these beers should be ice cold.
Mm-hmm. Which one do you want? There's a elementary lager or a hazy IPA?
I think you'll like the lager more.
Okay. All right, a couple updates. So right now, what are we doing right now?
This is the little metal grate that sits at the bottom of the fridge cabinet door.
Mm-hmm.
And as you can see, it's just all like rusted and the paint's flaking off. So we're just gonna take the wire wheel on an angle grinder, take all the paint off, and then hit it with some fresh paint.
And then Matt finished up the backing. The what kind of?
It's like 1/8 inch hardboard. Okay, so the shelf that we'll be putting in our new cabinet, we're just gonna use these little pins, like what you would find on like IKEA furniture for shelving. So we've got a little jig with wood, drill bit for the pin, tape to stop it when we're at the right depth, and the little wood jig just means that it's easy to get the same height on all 4 sides without having to measure and all that stuff. So. It makes the bottom shelf look pretty ratty.
Well, we'll put a liner in there. This is literally just a bin of screws, random screws that I've collected over the years, as one does. Found one.
So yeah, those will do.
Slide it on in, right? Should we just... Yes!
Done.
And done.
Done.
So what we're going to do is actually wire in this DC power connector. We're essentially putting in another cigarette lighter. So you don't have to do this. You can just plug it into your cigarette lighter that you currently have, but we thought it'd be a little bit nicer not to have all the cords running through the van, especially since we're gonna be using it like this on the DC power most of the time. So that is our next project. That is the last thing we gotta do. So this is a wiring loom kit. It's just basically, it's wires. Let's get wiring. Let's get ripping up our carpet.
I mean, it's already half ripped off.
That's true. Look at this. Oh my, that's...
So under our driver's seat is the auxiliary battery. It powered the original fridge. It will power our new fridge. And it also powers the lights and some of the other accessories for the camper portion. Fortunately, this is a nice new battery that was replaced not too long ago. Down there beside the battery is a little solenoid which enables this battery to be charged off of the engine, off the alternator, while the engine's running. But when the engine's shut down and there's no signal coming from that alternator, then it cuts it off so that it's isolated. If you drain your auxiliary battery when you're camping over a long weekend or a week or something, then your starter battery won't be drained as well. You'll still have enough power to start up your engine and drive home. Just to be on the safe side, we're gonna disconnect both batteries, just the negative terminals. That's all you have to disconnect. But it's always important to disconnect the negative terminal first, just in case you're disconnecting your positive terminal and your wrench hits the body or something, a metal part that's connected to the body, because your body is negatively charged in any vehicle. Red goes positive, black goes negative. So both the ring terminals are connected to the battery now, although my negative post is still disconnected. We can just hook that up last, just to make sure it's all safe while we're pushing wires around.
Nice.
We have our wire run and our little groove, and now we can fold this carpet back over.
That's looking pretty clean. All right, my time to shine.
Wires will go on the terminals just like that. 2 of those in there with 1 wire going to each one. All right, so the wiring's all done. It runs, as you saw, out here, down here, across here, up this little corner, and then we poked it up through the bottom of the carpet. Now we can double check that we actually have power coming to the socket, which we do. 12.5 volts DC.
Should I do it?
And press the power button.
Sweet.
There it goes. Nice work.
Ooh, nice work. That's teamwork, kind of. It's mostly him, but
It's teamwork.
it's teamwork. This is gonna be our new setup, and I'm excited to have cold beverages. Thanks for watching. Give this video a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe if you aren't already, and we'll see you guys on the road with a new fridge. What? I don't know how else to end this.